Hello, all you potential rock stars and fellow pretenders. My name is Jim, and this is Guitar Ambition, where I do my best to level up my skills and knowledge as a guitar player and musician and videographer and sound technician and whatever else. And I'll do my best to share everything I learn with you. Today we're going to talk about uh, intangibles and maybe some things that are not so intangible. As you probably know, because you may have watched my previous video on this guitar right here, which I just purchased about a month ago. And it is not a cheap guitar. This is a very, very nice PRS, and I'm really digging it. But man, it's expensive, and I got a good deal on it. So it was, nearly double, even after the discount that I received. It's nearly double what I've paid on a guitar before. Um, but it's worth it to me for a few reasons, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. Before I do, I want to just mention that one of the things that I'd like to do on this channel is to grow it without having to do new guitar reviews every week, because you know what? I just can't do that on a consistent basis. I don't have people sending me guitars. Hey, review my guitar, Jim. Tell me if you like it. It may come a time that I'm, gain a influencer status on YouTube or something like that, and I'll let you know when that happens. Because then people may be sending me guitars and gear and whatever to review and to demo and stuff like that. So I'd really like to grow this channel, but I'm going to have to do it with some other means, and hopefully I can do that with valuable discussion and relating my experience with you all. And if that doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But we're going to give it a try. So today we're going to talk about expensive guitars and the way, the means by which we justify them. So anyways, I have this very nice PRS hollow body spruce, and it's a super nice guitar, really expensive for me. Now, and let me just touch on this real quick. Everybody's got a different budget, everybody. So I'm mostly going to be talking about expense in relative terms. So while this guitar was aspirational to me, it may be completely out of reach to some other people, and it may be a trivial expense to a few other people. So first of all, let me just touch on a few of the not so intangible things. Fit and finish obviously is an area where if you're going to spend more on a guitar, fit and finish is important. With vintage guitars and relic guitars being kind of out of that loop, because fit and finish doesn't really matter on those. So for other guitars, if you spend over, say, $1,000 on a guitar, you shouldn't have any fit or finish issues, honestly. The neck should be straight. It should be able to hold tune. There shouldn't be any orange peel in the finish anywhere. There shouldn't be any cracks in the finish. No rust on the hardware. No hairs trapped under the finish, under the lacquer. Um, and maybe that bar should be set even lower, like $600, $800. Maybe that's where the bar should be for a fit and a finish at a certain level. Where there's no, issues. And there's some big name there's some big name guitar companies that do this all the time and still have very expensive guitars with fit and finish issues. So, but I don't get that. So I don't buy those guitars. The guitars that I buy are, I think, appropriate for the price. For me, and that's always subjective. So above and beyond that $1,000 mark, then we're talking about materials. So materials that justify extra expense are generally exotic woods or very, very pretty woods or something like that. And what comes to my mind are some of the PRS private stock guitars, which are just gorgeous. And some of the Kiesel, some of the Kiesel guitars that have been optioned up into the $2,000 and $3,000 level or more, and are just beautiful. And there are other companies, not just those two, but some of these guitars are just gorgeous, and they're works of art in and of themselves, and not just tools for the artist. And I appreciate that, I really do, but I've got a big pragmatic streak in me, so spending an extra $1,000 on a guitar that's flashy and beautiful, it doesn't work for my, justification. I respect a beautiful guitar, I really do. I just don't have room in my budget for one. I want one that if it's going to be optioned up like this, it's going to be about the tone, it's going to be about the playability, it's going to be about the applicability and stuff like that. Now let me say a little bit more about relic guitars. Relics are sticky. I don't like them. I don't get it. Now, one of these days, someone may hand me a very mojoed vintage or relic guitar, and I may say, oh, okay, I get it. It's got some sort of mojo that overcomes the fact that it's sticky, the fact that it's ugly. But, that hasn't happened yet. When it does, I'll let you all know. But one thing that I will say about the relic phenomena is that it allows me to get a ding in my $3,000 guitar and not really care. Now that I like. If a guitar falls over and gets a scrape in the finish or something like that, oh crap. Oh well. And having the, I don't know, I guess emotional presence to realize, okay, that little ding in the finish, that's not the guitar. That doesn't affect the playability of the guitar, doesn't affect the value to me. Now it may affect the value if I am planning on reselling this guitar. But I'm old enough that I know what I like, and so the guitars that I have, I think I'm going to keep. Anyways, moving on. Hardware, electronics, another more tangible than intangible thing. Now, most big name guitar companies, and a lot of smaller ones too, continually push the envelope in regard to making new electronics, better hardware, and that's natural. They have to compete to stay in the market. But even with all the activity in updating electronics and even hardware and stuff like that, some of the most revered pickups are the ones that are 60 years old or more. Somebody will find a Telecaster that was destroyed or something like that, a broken off neck, a chipped body or something like that, but they'll take those pickups out and sell them for good money, really good money. And of course, as you probably know, all of these advances in technology cost money to develop, and of course, if these advances are good and relevant and valuable to the customer, then they will get paid for. They will get bought, and those investments will be recouped. Another selling point, another rationalization or justification for buying expensive guitars is I'm going to call it applicability. And it has to do with a feature set of a particular guitar. And a great example is this one right here. If you're looking for a guitar that has a particular feature set, like really good magnetic pickups, but also a really good acoustic pickup, so that you don't have to bring an extra guitar to your gig, then having a guitar like this may, pay for itself in ease of use. And sometimes that feature set has to do with having maybe a 7th string or an 8th string or a 9th string. They have those. I'm not sure what they're for, but some people get great use out of extended range guitars, having 7, 8, and 9 strings and using them and making beautiful music. So there you go. Another feature set may just be a particular tone or feel that you get from a particular guitar. Maybe it's the rolled fingerboard edges. Maybe it's the tone of the bridge pickup on that one Telecaster up there, or maybe it's that PAF and that Gibson, $9,000 custom shop beauty that has just what you're looking for. And maybe that's the only way to get it. And if you can afford it, there you go. So applicability is definitely something if you have needs, especially if you're a working musician or if you're a student learning something in particular. If you're, for instance, if you're a jazz student and just getting into school and need a guitar that's applicable and not that Ibanez Jim that you've been playing, then maybe you need to get something a little bit more appropriate to jazz. So moving on to what are really more intangible things, and I'm gonna call this the ooh moment. When we've all done it. Walk into a guitar store and see that it's either in that room where they keep the really expensive stuff, or maybe it's on the top row, or maybe it is just that new guitar that you've seen in the magazines or online and just haven't seen it in person yet, and you go, ooh, that's pretty, can I play it? And you sit down with it and you plug it into a good amplifier and make one strum or play one lick, and there's something wonderful or different or wonderfully different about that guitar that you hadn't experienced before, and you decide that you like it. Well, that's really kind of fallen into the intangible range. And that's happened to me. It's probably happened to most of us. And as part of it for me, sometimes it resonates in more than just a physical way. Sometimes it resonates in your soul. You know what I mean. When I picked up my first Hollow Body 2, and this was 2 or 3 months ago, and I played that, and I was in the store looking for another guitar, and the guitar that I went looking for, I did go ahead and buy that one because I'm a pretty focused guy, but I made the mistake of playing that Hollow Body 2, if it's a mistake, and it was just wonderful. There was something about it. There was just something about it. It resonated in my ears, against my body, in my hands, in a metaphysical way, not just physical. It was just wonderful, and you can't put a price on that now, can you? So that led eventually to finding this guitar, which I think was possibly even more appropriate and a better buy for me, because that guitar was priced at like $4,250, and this one came out at about $2,600. So kudos to me for shopping around. And so now we come to what I'm going to call the queen mother of all rationalizations, the holy grail of justifications. And this especially is good if you are accountable financially to someone else. If you have parents who are helping you pay for stuff, or if you are married and your spouse is has a say in your finances, which most of them do, and lucky you if you don't. But this is the statement. This guitar makes me play better. I laugh, but it's kind of true. And if it is true, then that is a rationalization that will work, that I would approve of, that almost anybody will approve of, as long as you can talk your bankers into it. This guitar, for me, makes me listen closer. It makes me play more precisely. I hear with this guitar when it's out of tune, and I don't do that so well with other guitars. And I'm paying more attention to how much tension I put on the strings, not just gripping the crap out of it. which is, you know, something that you do when you play jazz rather than playing acoustic. Like I mentioned in the previous video about this guitar, banging out cowboy chords. That works on some guitars. Acoustic guitars are great for that because they sound really good when you're banging out cowboy chords. And you know, the heck with the tuning, because you can't intonate those things anyways. You just tune them up the best you can and go to town. And they sound great. They sound great with those big fat strings resonating that big flat spruce top. And it sounds great. And it's musical and it's wonderful. But electric guitars are different. So you play them differently. You don't play them with the same grip. You don't play them with the same ear. Often you're not singing at the same time, although obviously you can sing at the same time if you're playing a guitar, electric guitar. But it's different. Electric guitars are played differently. And this one, I play differently. Now, I'm been talking and not playing, so my fingers are not particularly warmed up, but and it just is wonderful. It makes me play better. It makes me want to play for hours on end, and I do. You know, and not always with this guitar, but man, I've been playing this guitar a lot. So, if you find a guitar that makes you play better, and if you have the ambition to do something with that, then it's worth almost any cost. Then it's a legitimate investment, in my mind. Now you know, and if you're lucky, and I am lucky in one regards that I'm not married, I don't have kids, I don't have anybody really that I'm accountable to for my finances except for my banker. So you know, any guitar that I can afford, if I like it a lot, I can get it. And this is one that falls in that area. Even though it's much more expensive than any guitar that I had bought previously, it is still a very, very good guitar. It is valuable to me, and I think it was a very good purchase because I'm getting better as a guitar player. Anyways, that is the list of reasons, rationalizations, justifications to buy an expensive guitar that I have. Tell me what I've overlooked. Tell me what I'm missing. Tell me where I'm wrong. If you disagree with anything that I've said, please note it in the comments below. I'd be happy to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching this video, especially if you've gotten this far into it. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and give me a like. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, it'll really help since I'm a brand new channel still. And like I've said before, and I'll say it again, you don't work guitar, you play guitar. So have fun with it. Thanks again, everybody. Bye now.